What's kicking you damn hooligans? I'm back. What do we got here today? This is the new model from Hein, and this is the Black Mamba. If you recall, I did a review of one of Hein's first knives, if not his very first knife, and that was the Rattle. The Rattle was the very first production knife I've ever acquired. I absolutely love that knife, and it's got a permanent spot in my collection. When I heard Hein was doing a new model, when I saw the pics and I saw the specs, I was immediately sold, and I got myself added to the list. And here we are today. And this is called the Black Mamba. Today we're going to be taking a look at this knife in terms of the specs, what I like about this knife, and there's a shitload I like, what I dislike about this knife, and that's just really nitpicking, and sort of my overall thoughts in closing. So let's go through it. I'm going to give you a couple close-ups, and also we're going to talk about the specs. I love the finish of this knife. I love its simplicity. I love its design. It's a clean, simple, functional, very understated with this finish as well. So we've got these titanium handles, and they're sort of sandblasted, literally sand from where he lives, blasting the hell out of these handles, and it gives it a very tool, very understated, and a very clean, simple look. We've got an N690 steel drop point. I believe he does do some hand rubbing and then he fine tunes the edge there. So I'm gonna give a couple close-ups of this handle. I really dig the finish he's done on this, and it comes wicked sharp. And the steel, the N690 steel, was also pretty damn good steel. Holds an edge, no issues there. We're gonna give you a little close-up of the maker's logo, and that's a badger, because the honey badger don't give a shit. So again, let me just give you a look at that blade profile there. It's got a wicked edge on there. So, as mentioned, titanium handles. There's no chamfering around this, so it's just sort of these straight but finished smooth edges. If you can let me just give you a focus there. I really dig the finishing on this as well. It's a front flipper. It rides on loose bearings, but you wouldn't be able to tell with this. I mean, this just fires right out. It's almost as if it's running on cage bearings, but he does such a great job at dialing this knife in. I mean, do you see the way that thing just fires? It's bloody righteous. And that's on loose bearings. We also have here a titanium clip. I'm just gonna give you a little close up there. And it's got these copper inlays. Now, I hate color on my knives. I just like them really understated, matte, bead blasted kind of finish. But the accents on this titanium, the copper accents are well done, tasteful, and you have to sort of position the knife in a certain way to see them on the clip here. And I dig it. It's smooth, it's finished just as the other part of the handles, and just sort of blends in there. So, as mentioned, rides on loose bearings. Basic pivot screws, nothing fancy here. Now he does offer these with sort of a Damascus steel pivot, but you know what, I don't need fancy, I just need functional. And these are just your standard pivot screws. They're functional, they work, they get the job done. We've got the jimping on here, and it starts a little bit at the front and goes all the way, wraps around there. And that's just for the front flipper, as again, this is a front flipping knife. And he's done a really good job getting the jimping in there. And by the way, I think these are hand filed. I mean, I saw him in his videos when he was on Instagram for the Rattle doing his knife. I think he's done this as well for the Mamba. That's pretty crazy, right? There's a lot of handwork that goes into this. And the jimping is really well done. Not overly aggressive, but not light either. And it always fires. And it's only not going to fire if you got your hand all creamed up. Now, I got dry skin and I've switched from olive oil to avocado oil. I mean, I'm fancy, high-end, you know. Gotta go all natural on there. So, as I was saying, he does a really good job with the jimping. It always fires, no matter what your method are of deployment for front flippers. We also have these titanium standoffs that have been anodized blue, and there's just a little bit of touch of color he does there, and I requested that as well. Just gonna give you a sort of a walk around of this knife here. I'm really gonna try and focus on the finishing and simplicity of this. As well, if you've noticed, there's no backspacer stopper there. Sorry, he's got no stop pin. Now I don't know what magic he's doing, but it must be some sort of stop pin built into it. But this thing just fires right out and smooth drop set. And that's pretty crazy for something running on loose bearings. I can't imagine what he'll do once he gets these things on cage bearings. Now, this is a frame lock, so you've got the disengage there. Pretty solid, decent lockup, no issues at all. And I like that he's got these milled out grooves here for your thumb. Now, I like that, and I like that it's smooth. I like that it's somewhere my thumb goes, and I don't have to think about it. It just falls into place, disengages, drops down. Really good, really appreciate it. For a slim looking knife, it's a really thick blade stock. I mean, it's got a slim profile. I'm gonna try and highlight that as much as I can with this knife. But when you turn it and take a look at the blade stock, it's fairly thick. So it may look like a gentleman's folder, but this will throw down for a hooligan. I mean, you gotta break down your chicken or your Philly cheesesteak sandwich. It's gonna get the job done. Now, what I like about this knife, I've been on the front flipping rampage for 2018. It's my jam, and front flippers are all I do. And this is up there for me with a really well done front flipper, especially from a maker that this is only a second knife. I mean, the work here is incredible. The skill is incredible. The execution is pretty badass. It's simple, it's functional, it's clean, and I'm a sucker for aesthetics. And I just love how clean this looks. It's not an overly aggressive, menacing looking knife, so I can pull this out in the meeting and cut up my paper, and still be, look all suave and shit. That's just because what I do, right? But what I'm getting at, he makes a very clean knife, and it's only a second model. I'm just gonna try and go around this here just to give you a couple close-ups, because I think you need to appreciate the simplicity of this, but also get the idea, or if I can convey that it's really well done. Now, other things I like about this knife, I like the fact how smooth it is. And I don't know how he does it, or what magic there is, but for riding on loose bearings, it is ridiculously smooth. I have no issues with the deployment. I like its simplicity, and I like how compact it is as well. And I like how it feels in the hand. It doesn't have any sort of chamfered, I'm gonna drop my French on there, edges. They're just smooth, but still straight. Edgy, but still smooth. That should make sense. It feels good. And it's not rough or anything, it just rides really hell in the hand, right? Now, one thing I do dislike about this knife, it's this clip. It's a pain in the butt in your pocket. And what I mean is, you see that? There's not enough clearance in there. Now, I don't wear gabardine or polyester dress pants. If I did, this would slide easily. I wear jeans. And this shit ain't gonna fit. There's not enough clearance on this clip here to go through jeans. It just catches and it's gonna rip them. I wish he made a deep carry clip. And he does offer a deep carry clip. I just forgot to get one. If you get this knife and you get this configuration, whatever blade steel you get, request a deep carry pocket clip. Deep carry is gonna make such a difference. I mean, the knife already rides low in the pocket as is, but because of this clip, I don't use the clip. That's funny. Because of the clip, I don't use the clip. I just put the knife in the pocket and it rides freehand. If I had a deep carry clip, I would love that, and I think it would just keep it a little bit more secure. Overall, I absolutely love this knife. I got my lawyer this knife, and I got another knife buddy. By the way, most of the knives I review, I've introduced my lawyer to them, and he's picked them up. He's turned into a damn knife hooligan just like myself. Solid guy. He likes it. The other knife buddy I got also loved this knife, and it's just from a good guy making good things. If you want a clean, simple, elegant, and if you're into front flippers, go ahead, check them out. I mean, you can get this in any configuration type of steel you want. Sorry, he's only got 3 options. N690, Bowler M390, I may have messed up the M390 when I can't keep track, and Damascus steel. He'll also do a Damascus pivot here as well, and I think he might be able to do some sort of different with the clip and the standoffs as well. I think you might be able to pick a color in there. And you can also get the blade. I mentioned Damascus, and I've seen a couple guys get the blade in Damascus. It looks righteous. It looks pretty badass. just Damascus isn't my blade. Do I like this knife? Absolutely. Would I recommend this knife? If you're looking for something clean, if you're looking for something simple, and you're into front flippers, it's definitely worth checking out. I'm going to drop a link to his Facebook page, and I'm going to drop a couple options he also has in there. And it's worth it. Check it out. I absolutely love it, and I highly recommend it. Alright guys, that's it. I'll catch you later. Do subscribe to my page and check me out on Instagram. Take it easy.